Star Fam. It's your girl Shining Light. I'm here to do another reading. Since I'm in the flow of the full moon that's getting ready to come on the 18th, I think I would just stick with hexagram 18. So I decided to do a shadow reading to see what we as a collective need to work on letting go of. Okay, so I'm using my shadow cards, and I'm going to roll a die to see what line we need to focus on, 1 through 6. All right, and if it goes over 6, then I'm going to reduce it to try to get 1 through 6. All right, beloveds, what energy do we need to focus on releasing? What energy do we need to focus on releasing? All right, 11, so it reduces to 2. All right, hexagram 18, line 2 is about your mother issues. So now we're working on the wound that we received from our mothers. Now, many times we are harsher on our mothers than our fathers for some reason. I don't know what it is about us as a collective species that we tend to be harder on the mother and expect more out of the mother than we do out of the father. But line 2 is about the mistakes that your mom has made in either raising you, being there, not being there, not supporting you, not protecting you, whatever mistakes that she may have made. It's about being easy on her and giving her some leeway, giving her benefit of the doubt and kind of compassion and understanding where she came from, because it might have been something generational. More than likely it is something generational that was passed down from her mother, her mother's mother on up, and it's being passed down, and it came to you for you to put an end to the bullshit, for you and your mom to work together somehow and put an end to it. And if you can't work with your mother, then it's all on you, so that your daughter or your son won't have to go through it, so your grandchildren can be free. And if you do the work early enough, then your children will be free. All right, so let's see what mommy issues, shadow work that we need to work on. Because a lot of times hexagram 18 is dealing with childhood trauma, childhood wounds. Right? And despite what people say, you are still affected by what happens in your childhood, especially in your formative years. From birth to 13 to 14, you're still forming. That's your basis. That's your foundation of who you are and what you believe. All right? So let's see. All right, beloveds. What shadow work do we need to work on? What shadow work do we as a collective need to work on? What shadow work does the collective need to work on? Whoop, whoop, blah, blah. All right, that's a lot, so we're going to go with that. All right, we have the child I was meant to be, anger and chains, blinded to pain, and at the bottom we have addicted. So we have the number 11 twice. 1111. This might be a wish that someone had that went unfulfilled, and you're holding bitterness, anger, and resentment against your mother. As a matter of fact, we have 11 3 times because 2 plus 9, 11. So I would do it, but I don't have anything with numerology in front of me. It'll take too much time. But when you have the time, look up 1111 or just the number 11. All right. So addicted, blinded to pain, anger and chains, the child I was meant to be. Many may feel like they didn't get to have the childhood that they deserved. Maybe your mama was addicted to drugs, alcohol, maybe even sex. Maybe she was abusive. Maybe she turned a blind eye to the abuse that you went through. Because maybe she was abused herself. And so she's carrying her own anger and resentment. Because we have anger in chains. This is something that's holding you bound. This would be almost like, you know, the devil energy. Some may feel that their inner child has died, but that child is still there. You just need to take some time to nurture the child. Some may actually be nursing a terminal disease that they received from their mother, and may have resentment for that. It can actually be a literal disease in your body, but it could also be a mental or emotional dis-ease. And it's time to see where it came from, to get to the root of it. I'm going to need moms to start opening your mouths and start talking to your children about the trauma you went through. That's the only way you're going to be able to heal it, because you start to repress it and push it down, and your children have to live through it because you don't want to face it because it hurts too much. All of the knives, the swords stuck in your back, all of the betrayal. But if you don't deal with it and face it, then it will be passed down to your children. You may have a mother that is resentful of her childhood. She wasn't the child she was meant to be. She didn't get to be that free-spirited child that she was meant to be. It's not fair for you to pass down your hurt and your pain to your child, or to ignore your child's pain just because you feel like you're a child. What is it that you could be stressed and worried about? Many times children repress the pain and the abuse that they're going through because either their parents going to lash out at them. Right now we're dealing with the mom. You know, I'm not saying it's all about the mom, but right now we're focusing on the mom. I already had a video where I focused on the dad. All right. Many times moms are frustrated because of the responsibility that they have. They have to carry the weight and the burden on their back all on their own. You know, maybe they were dealing with lies and betrayal from a loved one, from a lover. Made all of these promises that when she had the baby that they were going to be this happy family, and then he abandoned her. It's time to call in the storm to clear out all of this bullshit. All of the curses that come from your mother's line. From your mother's mother or your father's mother. You know, many may feel that they're fated to suffer, but it's lies. It's bullshit. No one is born to suffer. That is no one's true fate. If you feel that you are suffering, it's time to let it go. Get to the root of it. Figure out what it is and let that shit go. That way you won't pass it on to your children, and you can heal that inner child within. And so that shit would dead and end with you. All right? Don't forget who you are. Remember the child you were meant to be. Remember that what you used to like to do. Write, draw, dance, build, speak, perform. Take a moment to go within and reconnect to that inner child and remember who you are. Because that child is still there. Just because you're an adult and you're no longer in a child's body does not mean that that inner child, that young child version of you is gone. That child is still there in you, screaming to be heard. All right. some may be so spiteful and angry and bitter that they are seeking revenge. Maybe that's how your mom was or is. You know, like the Queen of Swords in reverse. Off with your fucking head. I'm pissed off. I'm mad. And you must get revenge. You may have a mother who tried to keep you from your dad, to be spiteful and petty. She's heartbroken and she's blinded to your pain, hiding you and keeping you from your parent, your father. Or you may have a father who kept you from your mother. However it goes. But I'm picking up on a mother keeping her child from their father just because she's heartbroken, she's angry for revenge, and being blinded to the pain that she's putting her child through because they don't have their father in their lives. You gotta learn to let that go. That's a generational curse. It gets passed on because you feel like that's the way it's supposed to be because you grew up this way. And then you put your children through that bullshit. I grew up just fine. I turned out just fine. No, the fuck you didn't. You're traumatized. You're walking dead. You're the fucking walking dead in this bitch. Your heart is cold. You've been stabbed in the back so many times that you numbed yourself to the pain and to the trauma that you've gone through. I'm not here to judge you because we all have trauma. We've all gone through some bullshit in some shape or form. But what I am going to judge you on is if you pass that bullshit down to your children. Blinded to what they're going through. Blinded to their hurt. Downplaying their pain. So, a lot of people, your mommy issues are getting ready to pop up. Your ancestral curses that was passed down through your bloodline is getting ready to be brought up, to be dealt with. Don't run from it. Don't hide. There's no running, there's no hiding from your blood. It's there with you for life. And everything that's attached to your blood. All of the blessings. I'm not even going to go there. But anyway, all of the abundance, as well as all of the responsibility that comes with the birthright from that blood that you have inherited. All right, so I'm going to pull a crystal card. Whew, baby, let me clear some of that out for a second. Let me move this because I don't want it to resonate so loud in the mic. Oh shit, that was heavy. All right, let me hurry up and get a crystal card so we can get some healing in this bitch, because this shit is heavy. Whenever you deal with childhood trauma, especially when it's a mother wound, that shit cuts deep and it's heavy, and it's usually harder to get over that because for some reason we want to see our moms as perfect. We expect our moms to be perfect and not realizing that they're hurt too. They're humans. They've gone through a lifetime of shit too that they probably don't even have the courage to tell you they went through. But it's time for you as moms to start opening up, ancestral-like, to start opening up about what you have been through, because 9 times out of 10 it's a generational curse. Everybody is too ashamed and you like to sweep it under the rug and hide your shame. Face that shit, because the next generation is going to trip over it. Alright, crystal card. to it. Remember that your mom loves you. For the most part, your mother loves you. This is not for those who are abandoned by their mom, you know. But then again, you know, she may even have love for you too. Especially if she was addicted to drugs and there was nothing she could do. It had a hold on her. That's a disease. All right, so at the bottom we have malachite. All right, ancestral light, which is 47, and Shiva Lingam, which is 32. We have another 11. 11, 11, 11, 11. This is somebody's wish coming true. Somebody's wish is getting ready to come true. But you got to release this wound. You got to heal this wound. Release this resentment so that it can come through. All right. So let's see really quick. Ancestral light. As it says, it's about the ancestors. It helps you to find the treasures hidden in your past. It takes healing way back and brings forward soul learning, rolling it into the future, but letting go of the experiences that created. Any dis-ease you are carrying is ancient and has been passed down through the ancestral line. It relates to prevailing attitudes and forbidden emotions that have been kept firmly repressed, as well as to ancient traumas and family dramas. What did I just say? Sweeping all of that bullshit under the rug, it only trips up the next generation. This shit must be faced and it must be healed. You can't heal what you don't reveal. It turns into a cancer. You know? It becomes a terminal disease that can ultimately wipe out the spiritual bloodline, your spiritual line. It can block the blessings because you're so caught up in that pain and that hurt that you keep hiding. Your shadows will come to find you. All right, 32. Shiva Lingam. This is about alchemical union. It symbolizes uniting dualities and manifesting the creative force. Be compassionate with yourself to heal. I'm going to say that again. Be compassionate with yourself to heal. If you're a mother that hurt your child, you know you traumatized your child, and it was because you were traumatized yourself as a child, be compassionate with yourself. If you were the child that was traumatized, be compassionate with yourself. Take a moment, love on yourself. Like I said, go back in and revisit that inner child. Do what makes you happy. Just for the hell of it. You deserve it. You are worthy of it. Okay. You have masculine and feminine and other dualities within your being. A Shiva Lingam is produced from the tumbling waters. Life shapes you in the same way, so go with the flow. Soul scouring reveals your divine core. If you are hurt or abused, be compassionate with yourself to create healing on all levels. Enough said. I highly suggest that if you're dealing with childhood wounds, childhood trauma, the mother wound, look for these two crystals. At least one. So that you can begin your healing journey. Not only yours, but for your descendants as well. Alright, and at the bottom we have malachite and rose quartz. I'm going to go with both of these. Malachite and rose quartz. Here's some loving. Let's give y'all some love. Get that rose quartz and all of that love and support from me to you. Alright, malachite. Okay, I feel like I need to look for the healing for malachite. Alright. It's about your DNA and cellular structure. reproductive and immune systems, your liver, your pancreas, your spleen. You could be holding this pain, this trauma in these body parts, and may have issues. As above, so below. As within, so without. It starts energetically and it manifests itself physically. All right, and then we have rose quartz. You know, this is all about love, self-love, self-compassion, having, mercy on yourself. Loving yourself first. It deals with your chest, your lung, your kidneys, adrenals, your heart, and circulatory system. It's for trauma, sexual imbalances, grief, addiction, overcoming effects of abuse, vertigo, fertility, burns, blistering, Parkinson's disease, and dementia. Main ones, though, is for your heart healing, to help heal from all of the trauma that you've gone through. All right. Let's see. Really quick, I'm going to give a quote. I'm going to pull a quote, and then I'm going to end this. Love you guys. Let's clear one more time. Let's hit it one more again. Hush. All right, beloveds. Look at this. I am lovable. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's going to be our affirmation for today. Get you some rose quartz and tell yourself, I am lovable. I am lovable. I am lovable. In case you haven't heard it today, I love you guys. And I wish the